I want to talk a little bit about the recent debate done by HighImpactFlix. And it was with this guy. His name is actually he didn't want to give his name. So I understand that not giving your name, it makes you feel like you're safe or something, but it's like if you believe that what you're saying is important, you have to use your name. You have to. Because no one that's got a brain is going to be like, oh, I heard from this guy that goes by a pseudonym this today. Okay, well, that's what's real then now. So if you believe something, like really, then you have to use your name. You have to. I have to. Yeah, I've accomplished too much to not use my name. I just can't get away with that. So whenever you're talking to someone that doesn't have a name, you need to be like, how could this person have ever accomplished anything then? Seriously, it doesn't make any sense. Do you think the history books in the future are going to be like, Crow 777 invented the lunar wave? No. They're not. You either have a name or you haven't accomplished anything. Like, why wouldn't you want your name? If lunar wave was something, he calls it an accomplishment. I don't call it that. I call it just like a thing that you see. It's really not. You see the same thing like just with your bare eyes. If you're like underwater, like especially if you go like this in front of your face, and it like whips up the water. So, yeah, he claimed stars through the moon. Well, now that would be something. If he actually was the person that invented or that discovered this effect of stars through the moon, then he has to use his name, because that would have to go on. That goes with that accomplishment. But stars through the moon is not an accomplishment. If you've watched my videos, then you know that it's not an accomplishment at all. And it's not even real. And in fact, you can see for yourself with your own eyes that light doesn't penetrate the moon, because you can see the craters. There's craters. They cause shadows. So you know for a fact that light doesn't penetrate whatever that is. Do you know that it's made out of cheese? As we all deep down suspect? No, that's not proof for cheese. That's not a cheese test. But it is proof that light doesn't penetrate. That is what it's proof of. So this debate was good. I mean, they both did good. The reason why Brian from HighImpactFlix or Vlogs did this is because this guy was accusing him of being a Fed and being a shill for the Jews because all of his videos aren't about Jews, and a lot of this debate had to do specifically with the fact that Brian actually calls them Zionists. I don't talk about Jews very much because I don't know Jews. I don't know if I could even really identify a Jew. I could definitely identify the ones that, are obvious, but, people tell me like a Jon Stewart's a Jew, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's what Jews look like. I'm from the West. I don't know what Jews look like, from the Northwest, so not California. Okay, so I'm going to start doing a lot more videos on opinion. They're going to go in a different category, but on the same channel. And the reason is that now you guys care about my opinion a lot. A lot. Here, let me show you why. What does Bill Nye say about... pick something that starts with a noun. get some of them. Okay. Oh, get some of them. Look, you'll even get culture. They have to spell it with K, though. Let's see. Let's try T. No. That's weird. Let's try TR. Oh, okay. Trump. Surprised about that. So, Bill Nye will inform everyone of what he thinks about everything, and everyone cares because, well, they think they're supposed to. They think he's an accomplished scientist. But I am the greatest astronomer in history, so I actually have to start doing more opinion videos. Because you actually have to know what I think about anything. Whatever. You should know my thoughts on Cardi B and cremation. You should know my thoughts on relationships, religion, relationships with others. You should know my thoughts on Linux, apparently. You should know my thoughts on pretty much everything, though. On you and yourself, on your health. What else should you know about what I think? You should know what I think about prayer, pride and patience and politics, physics. These are all things I talk about on my channel, so lucky you, huh? And yeah, you care, so that's why I do it. So, we've got this video here. High Impact Vlogs. And this, it's the Jews, it's the Jews. This is really common. And some of it might be true. Some of it's definitely true. But isn't it weird, guys? The Jews just came out of nowhere. And now everyone's like, Rothschild did this. That's proof that the Jews are bad. Don't you get it? Rothschild did this. Rothschild did this. Are you not hearing me? We're like, no, we don't hear you. Everyone's been doing stuff. Your grandpa was doing stuff. Like, what? No, but Rothschild, he was the one on the train. Don't you get it? No, I don't get it. I don't know what you're talking about. And that's basically what this debate with this kid was. It's like, he accused Brian of a bunch of stuff that later he backpedaled on. I mean, he backpedaled himself, I'm not making a judgment on it. I'm just saying, that's what he actually did. There's a bunch of downvotes. I don't know why. Lots and lots of people are totally against the Jews. And maybe it is the Jews. Like I said, I'm from the Northwest. I mean, I think it's the Americans, to tell you the truth. If you want me to be honest with you. And if you're in England, it's the English. If you're somewhere else, then it's them. That's my opinion. Are you subverting China? Any thoughts on that? Do you think there's conspiracy videos about whatever your race is that, in China? Us Chinese, we need to start worrying about the Irish because they are bringing down our culture. I don't think so, but who knows? So this debate, people are so about it. It's the craziest thing. In my life, we don't have Jews going around doing the stuff that gets done. And, people are not really happy with America, I would say. People are either, mad about how many rules there are, or they're just, sitting around doing nothing, thinking up more rules. So let me summarize his video with my comment. Brian did a really good job. He clearly and pointedly focused on the relevant points and played back the important points for this kid very well. And he needed to, because it was just like, fluoridated, can't even hold a thought. I'm going to say this time, and then next time it'll be the opposite. It was crazy. But this is so common. Like, I'm not saying it's crazy as in it's unusual. It's very usual nowadays. But it's insane. What I'm saying is that life is insane right now. People that have been educated in the public schools are just jacked completely. So he says, keep generalizing. Then he says, you want to get into specifics and technicalities. This is the entire country right now. 3 generations of socialized education, and the people are literally so stupid, I'm surprised they don't die doing basic daily activities. Jews are definitely up to something, but Rome has been in control for 3 millennia of something. And all these morons think the wandering Jews that just found a country somehow took over the world because of Rothschild, no doubt. Doubtless Rothschild and whatever ship he was on. It's definitely that. Yeah, and then, meanwhile, Rome was just sleeping while the Jews did this, too. So Rome, for thousands of years, they're like, okay, we're going to have this big old empire, and then, like, even the kings were under Rome, guys, the kings. The kings would be like, the Pope would excommunicate them, and then, like, they would be gone. That's what would happen. So all of the kingdoms were under, really what the papacy is it's an emperor, and kingdoms operate under the jurisdiction of that emperor, or they didn't, and then that's when there was a crusade. So everything taught in schools. An example, evolution, space, law, molten cores, gravity, all that stuff. And little green men is Rome. Guys, let that sink in for a minute. Everything taught in the schools is Rome. Catholics made evolution, they made heliocentrism, they made the law, like jurisprudence, they made like everything. Okay. Everything taught in all churches is Roman too. Now, I'm not saying the origination of the Christmas tree. I don't know about that. But it speaks of it in the Bible, Jeremiah, verse 10, I believe. It speaks about the Christmas tree. Don't do it. Don't chop it down. Don't put it in your house. Don't fix it up with boards. Don't put silver and gold stuff on it. And then we do all those things, right? Public prayer. In the Bible, it doesn't say to go into church and pray with a bunch of people. Not at all. But if you go into a church, that's what's going to happen. Why? Because that's a Catholic thing. All right? Bad words. Bad words, it's a terrible thing, because what they've done is they've declared someone that makes a sound a bad guy, and then someone that makes these other sounds good guys. And it's based on what sounds they make, not out of like what they do. So bad words has always been it's totally satanic. But it's a Catholic thing, because it's not, I don't think it's the synagogue of Satan where it's like they're just trying to look for ways to do what they want, right? The Roman thing is more like the Antichrist, where it's like Christ is the truth, and now the Roman religion is the opposite of that. And so the truth would be like anything God commanded us, anything that actually is beneficial for us, we should be doing. Anything that's actually bad for us, we shouldn't be doing, right? That's the actual law, truth, way, life. That's what the actual thing is. But then Rome is opposite of that. Whereas the synagogue of Satan is like they want to do whatever they want. Bad words, okay? So cannabis, another thing that was spoken very highly of in the Bible, and then if you go into the church, people act like it's bad. And these are people that don't pick up their Bibles. They just, these are the people praying for the congregation to see them. These are the people. The reason why all this stuff is the law for Rome is because that means that you're not reading the Bible. If you can go with Rome and you can actually look at a Catholic doctrine and be like, that's okay, that's acceptable, then that means that you're not reading your Bible. You're in the church of man. Specifically, that's really what that means. So like this guy up here was like, Jews, the Jews, the Jews. Guy, like, what makes you not a Jew? The rest of us are Christians. So that entails a couple things, like don't lie about things, let's just focus on that one. This Jew thing is perfect for don't lie. Bear false witness. Don't do that. What is false witness? Well, Rothschild was on a ski conveyor belt at this certain spot on this certain day, and they did this certain thing. All of them, It's like, no, you weren't there. You don't know. You didn't look any of this up. Even if you did, your source isn't good. Even if it is good, it doesn't matter. You weren't there. That's bearing false witness. I don't believe in hurricanes. I don't believe in lava. Someone has seen things that I have not seen, and they can go and be like, this thing is real. You don't think it's real? Well, it is real. And they can not be bearing false witness, right? Because they whatever, they looked at it. But most of you bear false witness about every single topic. Every single topic. And the Jew thing it's no different. It's always like, it's just like this kid. He was like, every single congressman is owned by the Jews. And maybe that's true. I don't know. We made Israel, so anything could really be going on there. There could be any, it didn't just pop out of nowhere, and the Americans and the British made it. And what do the Americans and the British use? The pentagram, an old Roman symbol. We have Roman numerals on our dollar bills. Where's the Hebrew again? I mean, it could be argued that maybe there's a six-pointed star on there, I guess. But again, the pentagrams and the stars, where did all that stuff come from? Maybe it was the Jews, but since they haven't had a homeland, and yet all of these places have got all these pentagrams and all these, there's pentagrams and then there's pentagons and so on. So what? It was the Jews that put those in all the different places, even though they were the odd man out in every place they went, and then somehow. Okay, so just to get to the end of this, cannabis. So obviously, and then sun worship. Sun worship is just where you act like you're talking about God, but you've got an entirely different scheme. So the Christian looks up and he's like, that's God. And then the sun worshiper can do the same thing because he is able to point to the sun. And it has nothing to do with the sun. It's about following power. It's about following the ways of power. They say, yeah, I believe in that God too, because that'll gain them power with you. And it's not because that they do or they don't. They worship Satan. It's Sun worship means really Satan worship. It doesn't have to do with the sun, like, oh, the sun is the god. No. No, it has to do with, like, creation worship as opposed to creator worship. Doesn't leave a lot of room for Jewish supremacy, you retards. And that might be a little bit rude, but guys, come on. I just got done listening to this guy just totally like, whatever. Maybe he was telling some points that were true, but I guarantee you he had no idea. Like, you can tell when someone doesn't actually have the knowledge, when they're just like, oh, well, I saw it on a slideshow from some guy on YouTube that doesn't even have a microphone. So it was just slides. And they said this. Or Eric Dubé or something. Like, guys, everybody's been lying. So if you look at any group and say that group's been lying, I don't know what to think about the Jew thing. I don't know what to think about the Catholic thing, because I honestly think it's all the Americans. That's who I'm around. So the next retard that I talk to, when I can't even understand what they're saying and I have to just keep saying, like, guy, you're going to have to enunciate better, because what are you talking about? I literally have to say this like a lot in my life. It's truly insane. And then, like, these people, for some reason, they always have advice for you. You're like, guy, I can tell that you're full of shit. Every statement you make runs through an IQ checking system here. I knew you were retarded from the very first thing you said. Like, the very first thing. But they love it. They love it. Let me go over a couple of things. Where is it? Right here. Yeah, this is it. This is very relevant. So glad that I paid for internet. All right. Though thou shouldest bray a fool in a mortar among wheat with a pestle. So, like, demolish him, in other words. Yet will not his foolishness depart from him. It won't, guys. It won't. It won't. It won't. I don't know how else to say it. I've seen this in my own life just over and over and over again. It's all there is to life, is this verse. Like all the verses, it is life. It translates into the life that God gave us. It's amazing, because you read something like this and you just like, you realize that, like, oh, we got to wake people up. Oh, we got to wake people up. No, you don't. I don't think you do. Here's what you got to do. You have to love first off, you have to love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. And then second, you have to love your neighbor as yourself. And that's the same thing as all the 10 Commandments. Oh, there's a different God in the first half of the book and a different God in the second half of the book. No, the 10 Commandments is the exact same law that Jesus gave us. It's the exact same. So, you don't need to wake the people up around you. You need to just love them like you love yourself. That's your only responsibility. Seriously. Because they're too stupid to get anywhere. I'm not kidding you. I'm 35 years old, and I've watched people make literally no progress at all their whole lives. All of them, guys. I'm not talking about some of them. I'm talking about all of them. All of them. It's not a joke. Like, I'm not even like, it's not a generalization because it is general. It is very in general. The people that are around you, it's like, the more that you point out how, like, no, you're wrong because of this, or point out anything to try and help them, it's like they ended up retarded because they weren't like that within themselves, to where they had this spark within themselves where they were like, should I actually know what this thing is before I start talking about it? Or, you know, like that thing inside some people that the NPCs just do not have. Guys, and there's lots of NPCs, and it's because it's a choice. It's because Christ is life. So without Christ, you're not alive. They're zombies. It's literally The Walking Dead. Like, actually. So, I mean, have hope, because truth reigns. And that's what Christ said he was, is the truth. That's literally what he said. Guys, it's so stupid. People are like, no, they made the Bible so to control you. Yeah, that worked out real well, didn't it? Only 5 million laws, and you're still waking up going to Congress. So clearly, the Bible, just did its job to control you by saying things like truth and like, no, how do you control a person? You lie to them. Duh. You tell them that there's monsters in the forest. You tell them that there's bad guys. You tell them that there's molesters. You tell them that whatever. That's how you control someone. Duh. So with the terrorists and with the duh. Like, but that's the thing is, this truth, it comes to you because you desire it. You seek it. You want it. It's like loving your neighbor as yourself. Like, ask yourself, what would you want to happen to you if you were the type of person that, let's say that you couldn't stop picking your skin? Psychologically, let's say it's not medical, you know, let's say it's just psychological and you just can't stop picking your skin, and like you just pick your skin and get sores, and then they get infected, and like you lose fingers and all that stuff, and like gangrene, and they gotta like cut stuff off, and like you infect people around you and stuff like that. Would you want to like live like that? So if you're loving yourself, is it possible that you would do whatever it took to end that? Like, to end that situation, right? Whether it is finding the medicine or strapping yourself down to where you're not picking anything, or whatever it is, you'd find a way to make certain that you couldn't pick your skin anymore, right? Well, that's what we've got around us, is we've got a lot of skin pickers. And we've been commanded to love them as ourselves. But if we were doing that, we would want somebody to help us to stop, right? So that's our only responsibility to these people. They don't want to hear what it takes to stop. They think that what they're doing is like the good way and stuff. But it's just like that I pointed out in the debate. This is really in the debate. Like, first comes, he says, yeah, keep generalizing there, Brian. Okay? Because he was losing at some point. And then later, he's saying, you want to get into specifics and technicalities? Guys, it was the same point. It's not like we went from apples to oranges. It was Jews versus Zionists. What's more generalized to say? What's better to say? What makes more sense. Brian smashed it out of the park by pointing out that it's obviously, the people that are making a choice about like having an ideology and not the people that are just like, in the group because they were born into it. So, I mean, that's what it is with these fools, though. Let's go back to this verse here. Grind him. Grind that fool in a mortar with a pestle, along with grain. I wonder what that part means. Let's see. In a mortar, so the mortar is the bowl, with a pestle, along with grain, and I guess the grain is to separate something. But you can't separate. So I guess the grain, does the grain stand for the truth here? Is that what's going on? You put them in there and then you grind them around with the truth? I think so, because grain equals life, which equals truth, which equals way, which equals Christ, right? It all works out. It's all a math that all adds together. No, it's to create control. Yeah. That's why after the Bible was created, there was nothing but peace, huh? Okay. That's why they already did a New World Order. That's why they already, right? It's because that. Anyways, it doesn't matter, though. You can make these points with these guys, but your only responsibility to them is, A, defend your God when they start talking about him, because they are going to. They don't even know God. They think that they have no idea. They think Christianity is like, oh, is that guy smoking weed? What a horrible. Let's go over here. That's what everyone thinks Christianity is. Oh, did he say shit? Well, then that means that I know good and bad. You're bad. Because he said, it was like, shh. But then at the end of it, it was like, it. That's when I knew. Right then I knew. Bad guy. It wasn't like, he could have been like, shh, and I wouldn't have even known. But once he said it, I knew. I knew he was up to no good. Really? I feel like the insurance salesman is really up to no good. I keep paying for insurance, and I keep not wrecking my car, and yet they keep wanting me to keep paying them for insurance, and they keep not giving me anything, and it's like, this is the plan. Guys, this is just the plan. So, he doesn't swear at all. Still, I think that's a bad guy. That's the bad guy. He doesn't even swear. Why? Because he's in the Church of Man. That's why. He goes around and, prays for people to see him. That's why. He does Christmas trees because he was told to. Not because, by man, not by God. God said, don't do it. This is just who it is that we're around. So, just a bunch of skin pickers. So be ready for more. I'm going to be just doing more opinion pieces because it's bad, guys. I honestly think that we're straight up doomed. Honestly, you guys can't even identify the problems. I mean, guys, yeah, there's something going on with the Jews, but no one. Okay, do we know people like Adam Green and like, all these different names of anti-Semites that's probably not right of me to call them anti-Semites, but, people that are branded anti-Semites. That's what I'm saying. We know a bunch of them. So now tell me who the anti-Catholics are. Guys, the Protestant Reformation created America. That's who you are. That's what you are. Protestant. That's who and what you are. And if you don't understand that, it's because you're not supposed to know who you are, right? But yeah, Rome's already been identified. What people are doing right now and saying that the Jews, right? We already did this with Rome. Okay, and then we got away from them, and then guess what? People just forgot. Now we're taught by socialists at the schools. So now we have no memory of our past. We don't know who we are at all. So Protestant Reformation, though, yeah, we already did this before the internet, guys. We didn't need these no-named people to tell us that Rome was bad. It was our neighbors that were like, hey, we got a hold of a Bible, and it turns out these guys with the big buildings here, no, they're not doing that. They're doing the opposite. And it's not hard to figure out. It really isn't. And that's why it's disheartening to see all these retards like, it's the Jews, it's the Jews, it's the Jews. I agree. There's a disproportionate number of Jews in these positions, right? But you have to understand, when you are satanic, who are you going to recruit from? It's not going to be from the Christians. It's not going to be from the Muslims either. They both believe in God, the same God, I believe. I don't know a lot about Muslims, but I'm pretty sure that we both believe in the same God. So, yeah, if you're Antichrist, then you have to go outside of that pool. So who does that leave? It literally only leaves the Jews and like the tribes, you know, and then I guess like, no, that's pretty much it. You can't use Buddhists because they don't have a deity. I believe. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me on it. But I studied it for a little bit, not extensively. But I'm pretty sure that, yeah, that's the largest religion on earth and that it doesn't have a deity. So it's kind of weird because it's like, does that even make it a religion? And like I said, you know, I haven't done the numbers on all this stuff, so you know the deal. Mostly just things that I've heard along the way. So yeah, people thumbing this down it's just as stupid. I mean, Brian wrecked him. Truly. All this dude had to say had like his only ammo was just like, I get it, man. You got a big channel. That's why you got to keep yourself safe. You don't want to call out the Jew. And that's, you know, that is probably a concern. I mean, with the censorship, everything's a concern. And since you know, they don't even tell you what you're doing is being censored, who knows? Like, yeah. We don't know. We've heard Bigfoot stories, so obviously that doesn't get censored. But Flat Earth certainly gets censored. Guys, I get censored so bad, I want to show you. I'm going to show you how bad I get censored. Some of it I can't show you, but okay, for one thing, guys, sometimes I can't even comment on videos on my own channel. My own channel. Seriously. Like, I'll post a comment, and then I'll go and look at the question, and it'll be like open-ended, like, I didn't answer that question. Wait a second, I just answered that question. So, yeah, my own channel, I can't even use my own channel. So, fantastic. I love that I get to, like, work for these people and dig their holes and stuff, but literally any time it's their turn to provide something, it's just like, no, you get nothing. Here, let's switch. Let me show you what I did. This is something different. Now, I know that in America, the way that you win is you talk about nothing, right? So I put this other stuff on my other channel, and it's just games, but look, no views at all. Guys, there's like, these are 4-hour videos, and there's like 8 or 9, you know, so like there's almost like a full week on here, and it's just 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. 4, that was like, I clicked on it 4 times. So I don't even know if I did that. Yeah, four times is probably what I clicked on it. I don't know for sure, but so that's the deal. Is like, a 4-hour video, just zero views at all. So basically, what that means is that I'm just completely depersoned. Just, it's just not even. I'm on the list of like, you're not even allowed to talk about anything. This is just about games. This isn't about shape of the earth or anything. This is just games, just playing some games. So, I mean, guys, you can see where this is going. You know where it has to conclude. I mean, I'm no longer a citizen in the country that my family built. Not theirs. We've got all these politicians, and they haven't done anything to earn all of the steaks that they've been eating. Seriously, they've done nothing. We see where this is going. I mean, when the citizens are depersoned, but guys, get ready for more, because it's just like this dude here. He's like, I won't even use my name just in case, like everything's about me. He's self-centered. Like, guys, these people try and act like they're Christians, but you're going to notice things about them. You're going to notice that they're willing to lie to win. Okay? I was just arguing with one of these. I think that these guys are government, really. This guy was probably just legitimate and real, but he's just probably tricked into it by these other idiots in the comment section. These comment sections are just, I don't know. I can't tell if people are so stupid that they believe it, or I think that's what's going on, but it also could be, government agents and stuff that are spreading around this Jew stuff. Because, guys, the one thing they don't want you to know is Catholics. That's why they, killed Kennedy. Because he was a Catholic, and he came up with the whole moon thing. Think about it. I don't think he's dead, but I'm just saying. Yeah, get ready for more.